I would like to begin this evening with two short demonstrations to help illustrate the importance of hand sanitation in everyday life. So just observe what I do, and it should be pretty self-evident during the course of my demonstrations what I'm getting at. Boy, am I hungry. Wish I had some food. Oh, look, cookies. I better wash my hands first, like Mama always taught me. That's delicious. Now for the second demonstration. Boy, am I hungry. Oh, look, cookies. How convenient. I think I'll just eat them without washing my hands. Now, if I was to ask what the difference was between these two demonstrations, a likely response would probably be that one of these methods was more sanitary than the other. Is that a likely response? You'd be surprised to know that you are correct. One is more sanitary than the other, and that would be no hand washing in this instance. I was also surprised to find out that no hand washing was the more sanitary in this instance when I learned in my BYU microbiology class through an experiment that the way that most of us go about washing our hands actually compounds the problem. The experiment that taught me this, I've decided to repeat tonight, and the results look like this. I took a petri dish and I divided it into thirds. And in one section I have no hand washing whatsoever, and the other one I have hand washing with soap, water, and a bath towel. And then the third section I have using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. This is the normal bathroom washing with soap and water. It is obviously the most bacterial growth after a 1 week period. No hand washing whatsoever, only had about half of the growth, although it was a little bit more colorful. And alcohol-based hand sanitizer had the least amount of growth. So what is it about alcohol-based hand sanitizers that's so great? This evening I plan to talk about 3 reasons why we should switch to using alcohol-based hand sanitizers. 1, the Harvard Men's Health Institute has said that hospitals are switching to alcohol-based hand sanitizers because they kill more bacteria and viruses, and because they are easier to use. So, in a word, they kill better. The second reason is that they are easier on our hands. I know that I have often gotten dry, cracky hands by washing my hands too often. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers, as the Journal of Nursing has said, are a lot easier on our hands because of certain emollients in these things that actually moisturize our hands. The third reason is that it takes a lot less time to use. The Center of Disease Control has said that alcohol-based hand sanitizers take less time to use. In an 8-hour shift, an ICU unit nurse can save an estimated 1 hour of time by switching to alcohol-based hand sanitizers. So what is the deal with soap? Is it worthless? No, it's just the fact that most of us wash our hands incorrectly. Going back to my initial introduction, the problem wasn't so much with the washing as it was the drying. With wet hands, I dried my hands on a towel and turned off the faucet. My wet hands acted like a little sponge to soak up a bunch of bacteria. Another problem with using soap and water is refilling disposable soap containers whenever they're empty, and this leads to increased contamination. And another problem is using soap and leaving it in a soap dish. Bacteria grows in the foam around the soap in the soap dish. So there's been 3 practical suggestions, and that is to switch to alcohol-based hand sanitizers because they kill better and they are a lot easier on our hands, and third, because they take less time to use. If you do use soap and water, Make sure that you dispose of containers whenever they're empty and don't try to refill them without cleaning them. And also make sure that your bar soaps don't sit in a dish but instead on a rack that drains water. With these simple suggestions, your hands will not have these furry little creatures growing on them and they won't be part of your next meal. Thank you.